Hey friends, you probably know that Playwright is a stellar solution to test your websites end-to-end. Thanks to Playwright, you can control headless browsers to test your login flows, your add to cart actions, and whatever you're building. And your customers and users will thank you for that. You know what they will also appreciate? A snappy experience. And today I want to show you how you can leverage Playwright's test timeouts to notice and prevent performance regressions. I have a quick Playwright example project over here, so let's have a look at what is included. This login spec.js file defines a Checkly login test, and the best way to figure out what a Playwright test is doing is by running npx playwright tests with the --UI command. This opens up the fairly new Playwright UI, and this UI gives you an entire overview of your Playwright project. You can watch files and rerun tests. And when you run your tests, you get a nice visual representation of what this test case is performing. So we see here that we're navigating to this web page, then we click the link to the login flow, we perform the login, and once we're inside of the Checkly web app, we check that this table is not empty. And this all works great. But how long does this test case actually take? When we run npx playwright test, we get a nice little test summary duration. And it tells us here that this test case took 6.9 seconds. And going to a website, logging into a product, and then waiting for this product to be loaded in 7 seconds, I think this is actually pretty good. But how can you make sure that your tests are keeping track of performance regressions? What you can do is you can go to your global Playwright config and you can add a timeout option over here. And we can define that we don't want test cases to take longer than, let's say, 5 seconds. The default timeout value in Playwright projects is 30 seconds. So when we now run this test case again, our Playwright test will fail and will tell us, hey, wait a second, one test case here actually took longer than these 5 seconds. But now when you have a larger Playwright project, you probably have some tests that take longer and some are a little bit shorter, so that the 30 seconds default value for test cases is probably not that bad. What you can also do is you can go inside of your test case and you can call test set timeout over here, and I can define that this test case shouldn't take longer than 5 seconds. When we now run this test again, we get the same result, but we can tweak all the test cases and make sure that one test timeout isn't affecting another test case. Let's bring that back to 10 seconds and have a passing test read over here. And now in case this login flow at checklihq.com becomes slower, at some point our tests will fail and will tell us, hey, wait a second, you had a performance regression over here and the login flow takes 10 seconds. But here's a pro tip. If you're using Playwright, you're probably running your tests locally or in your CI/CD pipeline on preview and production deployments. And while testing your deployments is great, they are not telling you the entire story because probably you have some third-party providers or some infrastructure problems. There are plenty of reasons for your websites to go down or have troubles for your users online. And this is why we at Checkly believe in synthetic monitoring. When we head over to the Checkly web app, we run a lot of checks on a schedule to make sure that all our online properties are up and running and working. And here's a cool thing. When you go to the reporting sections and we have a look here at what we call mission critical checks, you see a lot of Playwright tests that are running against Checkly itself. And what you see here is performance statistics and how long these test cases took to execute. So for our login examples, we could have a look at, hey, we are running these tests on a schedule and right here or right here, there was a performance regression. And since then, things become a lot slower. And this gives you a lot of confidence to notice when performance regressions happen, when your tests become slower, and when your web app became slower too. So if you think that's cool, give it a try. This is Playwright Test Timeouts. Make sure that you're shipping snappy stuff. And I'm Stefan from Checkly. If you have any comments, drop them below, and I will talk to you very soon for the next Playwright tip.